Welcome to Baxter Yoga. I'm here today at the NAMASTE Yoga Studio in Oakland, California. This is their Rockridge location, and I actually teach 2 classes a week in this very room. So if you're in town, come take class with me live. We'll have a great time. Today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite variations of child's pose for those people who cannot do regular supported child's pose with a bolster. So this is actually the supported version because we are going to use a bolster, but I sometimes call it upside down child's pose. This removes all the pressure from the knee joints and the ankle joints, and it's a little different in shape than regular child's pose because it is upside down, but it's close enough that some of the same quieting benefits are found by doing this particular variation. So I prefer having a little blanket padding underneath my spine, but that's optional. Feel free to grab one if you want. And then if you have something that resembles a bolster or a big body pillow, something along those lines, or you could even roll up 2 firm blankets. And if you've got your yoga strap, you could tie them around the ends and you could make yourself a bolster. But you want something like a bolster. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down and we're going to start by coming into constructive rest position. So let's come down, lying on our backs with our knees bent and feet on the floor. So I'm adjusting so that the blanket is comfortable for my spine. My head's actually off the blanket, but if you had a longer blanket, you could have your head supported. And then quite simply, I'm going to take this bolster that I have off to the side, and having it on its tall edge, not its flatter edge, I'm going to place it so that the top edge is near my breastbone, middle of my breastbone, and the bottom end goes in between my legs. And then from here, I'm going to lift my knees up and in towards my chest like they would be for child's pose. And I'm going to put one ankle on top of the bolster, and then I'm going to cross the ankles. And I might even hook my feet so that the feet stay more likely to stay on the bolster. From there, I'll take my arms, and I've got my left foot on top, so I'm going to have my left hand on top, and I'm just going to hold on so that I'm kind of holding it like a big stuffed animal against my body. My head's resting on the floor, but I've got this nice little pressure of the bolster against my belly and my chest, so that as I relax into this, usually for about 2 minutes or so. If I had my smartphone handy, I would set my timer for 2 minutes, and then probably just close my eyes and focus on taking some comfortable, easy breaths in and out. I might breathe a little deeper than normal, because when I do that, the pressure of the bolster might direct some of that shape change of breathing into my lower back area. And of course, after a nice inhalation, I would take a nice, easy exhalation. And again, I would probably stay with this cross of the ankles and arms for about 2 minutes or so. When my little timer goes off, I would just reset my timer, and then I would change the cross of my ankles, putting the right ankle on top, and I would change the clasp of my arms, and I could always reach up a little further if I can wrap my arms around the top of the bolster more easily. So my head is neutral, and this bolster pressing against the belly generally simulates the shape of child's pose, but doing it upside down can feel absolutely wonderful. I always get rave reviews from my students who have ankle and knee and even hip problems who wish that child's pose was as comfortable as many teachers advertise it, but they can really get comfortable doing this variation. So it's a nice one to have in your toolbox. So after my 2 minutes is up on the second side, the second cross, I would first just let my hands come down to the bolster and release my feet one at a time back into constructive rest position. And then I would just set my bolster off to the side, perhaps take a breath or 2 with my belly free now to move with the breath and my chest free. And then finally roll to one side and push yourself up to sitting. And just sit for a moment before you move on to whatever's next in your practice. So upside down supported child's pose with a bolster or some bolster-like substitute. That's our pose for the day. Put that at the beginning of a practice or at the end of a practice, or do it all by itself in the middle of the day or at the end of the day as a nice little restorative pose, very quieting for the body, usually. And see what you think. I'd love to hear if it works for you. So feel free to send me a comment on my YouTube channel if you're finding it helpful. So that does it for today. Please follow me on my website, baxterbell.com. Also, don't forget I've got the great blog that I do with Nina Zolotov called Yoga for Healthy Aging. And you can also find longer practices on the practice channel at the website yogayouonline.com. I have a whole series of longer yoga practices that you can do with me there. So until the next time, thank you for joining me today, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.